Welcome to the Big Fat Gay Podcast, where we talk about the things that are weighing on our minds. My name is Michael Willer. I'm a chubby chaser, and today I am a mildly sleep-deprived sleepy boy. But not for any bad reasons, just because my brain's in overdrive mode, and it doesn't like to shut down at night. So,
Hey, my name is John. I'm a big chubby guy living here in sunny Hollywood, and today I am a surprisingly unconcerned, unself-conscious guy because I figured I had to put the Zoom chat over my face so I don't have to look at myself while we record.
I was awesome. Like, where is he going with this?
I'm free.
Hello, my name is Dan Oliverio, author, public speaker, and chubby chaser. Don, I have absolutely no idea what you said. And I am thrilled. You know why I'm thrilled, gentlemen? Because we have a new screensaver on our picture TV in the living room, and I adore it.
Oh, I like yours because it's got such a matte finish that it just sort of looks like art on the wall.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm Trevor Keyson. I'm a super chub, and today I'm a lumpy, humpy, hump day boy. We're recording on our release day.
Yeah, unusual.
And we're also like back to Zoom instead of our various recording platforms. So it's all new. It's all different. And I'm afraid of messing up the episode somehow.
We had all the technical issues.
Yeah, we're definitely back in quarantine vibes again, which is weird, but hopefully it'll serve us well. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. We're glad you're here with us, joining us for yet another insane episode of the Big Fat Gay Podcast. Before we get started, we want to thank the patrons who support us on Patreon and give us a little bit of cash every month. That helps pay. Actually, doesn't help. That completely pays our editor, David, who does a great job. So thank you for that. As a little side bonus, you may know it already, we have a 15% off of your bearskin order where you can get lots of underwear and shorts and other garments, plus size friendly with the promo code BigFatGayPod. And if you happen to be in the market for a phenomenal mattress made for very large people, go to our website and click the Big Fig link. You can get a Big Fig mattress. It doesn't give you a discount, but they often run their own discounts for substantial quantities, including, I think coming up, they'll have a Labor Day one.
Yes.
That's already running.
You can save up to $800 with their Labor Day sale.
Yeah, which is bonkers.
Well, the more you buy, the more you save, gentlemen.
And we have lots of ringing endorsements from them, both from us and from people on our Discord that have used them. So check it out. And speaking of our Discord, we have one. It's free. This is not gated behind any kind of paywall. This is just a thing. You can go find us there. If you're not familiar with Discord, a lot of people who have joined also are in the same boat as you, and you pick it up pretty quickly. It's just a server where you have different categories of subjects that you can chat to people about, tabletop gaming or rants or whatever. And it's a good little community, nice safe space to talk about things. And if you want a little less engagement than that, but still want to keep up with us in case you happen to miss episodes during a month, you can sign up for our newsletter that's run by Dan.
Me?
Yeah, by him. He's right there.
And with all of our housework done,
Yes.
summon the pop culture penguins.
They're here. They're tap dancing. Oh no, one of them left his cane off stage. He has to go get it.
Our first story today, we are going to focus on an article from Nation Cymru.
It's Welsh, people. Give us a break.
It's Welsh. Don't give it. Yeah, exactly.
The article is entitled Bad Fatty, Welsh Comedy Talent Readies for the Edinburgh Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
On this article, we're focusing on comedian Stuart Thomas. He's a bisexual, big, beautiful guy who's bringing his own brand of talent to the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yeah.
We should point out that he has finished the show now.
Yeah. He's Cymru and gone, Reed.
Yeah, and he has struggled with weight issues and how people treat him for how he looks, and has taken that in stride in a way to sort of create stand-up comedy that if people leave the show having like a different perspective on things, like that's always a benefit. And that's always something he's sort of thinking about.
Something that I think is really interesting is he credits the comic Sophie Hagen, who is also a fat activist, with watching her and seeing like, oh my God, we can talk about these things. And you know, my big complaint as always is like, why is there no men in fat lib? And it's because, well, the men are like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And so this is a great example of a guy who is transforming from, guys don't talk about this to I am definitely going to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And getting an endorsement from Sophie Hagen.
Yeah, that's true.
Which, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
One other thing I want to point out, this article has a link to Stuart Thomas's link tree.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like about this is not only does it show a lineup of his different appearances across Scotland, I think it is, but he also has a curated assortment of his own performances. There's nearly 45 minutes of material of his own work. One of the things that I like about that when a performer posts that sort of material is it helps you get to know them in sort of the light and sort of the order that they want you to see. You can see the progression, you can see where he comes from in this work because he's a newer performer.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it really charming and kind of intimate when someone shares that sort of work like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he talks about basically a lot of his jokes come from late night scribbles in his notes app where he's just having kind of these negative thoughts and writing them down to turn them into jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I love that because that is such a relatable thing of that just kind of late night drifting, floating in space and just being beating up on yourself.
Yeah.
But to take that and give it a place to be other than just kind of in your head and to share that with people and end up bringing them together. That's a wonderful thing.
Turning pain into profit and power.
I admire that kind of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have a huge amount of respect for people who can go up on stage for an hour. For an hour. It's so bold.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd like to see some more of Stuart Thomas or just check him out a little bit, you can find him on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Stu the Joke, STU. And you can check out some of this material there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Blazing on into the sky.
Upwatch 2025.
This is a guy, a father, a girl dad, girl dad. He is the father of two daughters. And his older daughter got slimed by her grandmother because she has a belly. And I think he was releasing this on TikTok.
Yeah. John from Friday, spelled with an I at the end. We'll play it first and then talk about it afterwards.
So last night I went off on my mother-in-law for making comments about my daughter's belly. We were having dinner, we bought fried chicken, and fried chicken came with a side of pickles. And my mother-in-law made some weird comment about how my older daughter should eat more pickles so that she wouldn't have such a pudgy belly. Number one, that doesn't make sense. My wife immediately reacted and says, "Oh, don't say that, Mom." And I looked over at my daughter, my 11-year-old daughter, and she made a face, and that set me off. I went off on my mother-in-law and I told her that she can't say shit like that in my house. She could never say anything like that again to my daughter, and that it harms her self-image. She's entering an age where body image is very sensitive. A couple of days ago, she was talking about how perhaps she should join track because she didn't want to look so fat compared to her classmates. Not because she enjoyed running. She doesn't enjoy running whatsoever, but she thought maybe the added physical activity would help her look more like her peers. So I already knew that my daughter was sensitive about her body image. And so I kept going. I wouldn't let it go. And my mother-in-law reacted by kind of downplaying what she was saying. She's saying oh, well, it's a harmless comment. It doesn't really mean anything. And I explained to her that, no, it's not harmless whatsoever. It's very harmful. Comments like these is how insecurity starts at a young age that turns into something much more harmful as she ages. This morning, we took our kids to swim lessons, and my wife, out of the blue, said, "I'm glad you said something last night," to my mom.
I love that he shared this because the way that he talks about it, I think could easily have been, that dad thing of nobody's going to hurt my daughter. I'll slam him through the ground. It wasn't that. He looked at his daughter first to clock her reaction, because if she had no reaction or I think it didn't have to be the same kind of moment. It could have been a simpler thing, but the fact that he could tell that she got hurt, I think it gave him clearance to then act, which I think is kind of an important degree of like consent almost. Like, can I act on your behalf in this moment?
One of the people in the comments made this snarky remark. I took it as snarky. He didn't. But the comment was like, well, yeah, that's fine. But what is she going to do when you're not around? Have you thought about that?
Oh, my God.
And he makes this really very gracious response, which is, well, yes, actually. She and I talked about it afterwards, and we discussed what she would do or what she, and whether that reaction was okay. And they explored the moment, which I think was great.
Yeah.
But, it's important that the internet always tell you that no matter what you do, it's wrong.
Of course. Of course.
I saw one clarification in the discussion with the creator of this that I was glad for, where he just says, like, the mother-in-law being discussed here is a really good mother-in-law that he feels really positively about, loves the daughter. Like, that's one of the reasons why he felt comfortable discussing this with her. Mm-hmm. But the question that I had in the moment was, if the discussion occurred right away in front of the child or away from the child.
Oh, I think it was in the moment.
I think it was at the table.
Yeah.
Right
that
there.
I
think it was the follow-up. I think his wife weighed in, he looked at his daughter, and then he weighed in.
I'm trying to figure out as the focus of the topic, if that would make things worse or better for me.
I thought of that too.
And I don't know. On the one hand, I feel like I'd be protected. On the other hand, I would feel so called out and in the spotlight that I would be twisting on a hook.
Yeah.
So listening to this time, I had kind of a little different perspective of like thinking about my own childhood and stuff. There's so much commentary on children's bodies, especially if you're a fat child. Mm-hmm. And there's a point where like the whole pudgy belly thing and like the rolling arms, where it is so like, oh, such a cute fat baby.
Yeah.
And then there's a point you hit a threshold, either a size or an age or whatever, where all of that shifts.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I love that it's a dad doing this, because I feel like men need to do a lot better in a lot of ways. And just like a dad knowing that this language has impacts maybe on, he had a thing growing up, but like, especially as a young girl, that this will do so much psychic damage as often as like the most innocuous comment from a relative just in passing that will just permanently scar you in such a specific way.
I think there's two things there. I think the depth of the wound has to do with two factors. One is how severe is the criticism? Like, is it a really savage criticism or is it one of those offhanded comments? And then the other is, how intimate are you with that person? Like if it's your grandmother versus somebody shouting fat from a passing car.
Right. Because he says he went off on her, but then afterwards, as he's talking about it, it seems more like he had more of a discussion about why that wasn't okay.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like, where on that spectrum it landed, because I think it could probably have a different impact for his daughter, depending on like how that went.
That colored my impression of what the confrontation would be like. Because I know when you're talking to a grandparent about how they treat their grandchildren, I've seen that go so many different ways, even with just the most mild of criticisms. That's gentle territory where, and again, completely different generations of standards. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard.
I mean, I can speak from experience, Don. When that happened to me, when I was a kid at the dinner table, and it wasn't my grandmother, it was my grandfather, my mother and grandmother jumped in, and I don't know, I felt vindicated.
Yeah.
When your parents invalidate the comment in front of you, I think that's very empowering.
Yeah. Because it also shows their stance. If you didn't know how they felt about it and you were just sort of living in self-consciousness about your body, and then they stand up for you when maybe you weren't even expecting it. Yeah, that feels like, it's a moment of confrontation, which is awkward, but it is also them saying we stand by our kid.
I think it's about, how the comeback is, because there have been moments I've experienced where you feel doubly slimed because someone makes that comment like, oh, you should eat more pickles because you're fat enough. And someone says, stop that. They'll lose weight when they're ready.
Yeah.
That's not helping.
That's not great.
In this discussion, I'm realizing that like I can't even conceive of either of my parents sort of being on my side in a weight thing. Like it's so in left field. I can't quite.
I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but some people have the experience of never feeling like their parents have been on their side. Where there's also that alternate slime where, let's say the grandmother had said something about, she should eat more pickles, which, by the way, I don't think is about calories. I think it's about more vegetables,
Feeling
less
full,
room. Feeling full.
There's so much about that. I mean, we could do a whole segment on just like unpacking the pickle thing because there's.
Yeah. Anyway, we love to see it. I think overall a positive thing. We need more men in this advocating space.
Yes. Well, let's slide right on into the main topic.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about a lot of internet stuff, a lot of social media heavy pop culture and Fat Watch. And we are talking about kind of like scams, internet safety, catfishing.
Yeah.
In the chub chaser space, in the fat space. I mean, there is so much of that online in so many different degrees, but we're kind of looking at the kind of romance scams popping up, targeting fat people, even on Grindr. But I've also encountered this on Scruff. I've had friends encounter this on Scruff, on Bigger City. So I guess maybe to start off, has anyone encountered one of these like kind of complex romance scams or bots or anything?
I have kind of an interesting like lead in for this, which is I, having been a user of Bigger City for a number of years at this point, had not once been approached by somebody who was like leading you towards like, oh yeah, let's switch to WhatsApp because I want to tell you about this. And it's like, oh, this is clearly a scam. Mm-hmm. And then, in the last like 6 months, year, when I've been more active on Bigger City and have also gained some weight, it was like, I've talked about like trying to figure out like how to categorize myself. Like definitely still chaser. Like I don't think anyone would push me over to like chub for chub. I would say stocky. Other people might say athletic. But somewhere in that weird space. Mm-hmm. Point being, when the number went up, I started getting scams.
Interesting.
Huh.
And it was always from chasers. Always. Mm-hmm. And I think once I started to fit like their target demographic more.
Yeah.
What I'm assuming is like more like on the chub side, like making assumptions about, what you're going to tolerate from people and what you'll kind of like go along with just for the chance of maybe it being real. That was really eye-opening. I was like, this has never happened, but I got like 3 or 4 scams in a week.
Yeah.
Which had never happened.
I will say though, I've gotten some of those, and I think it's just a function of they finally found this as a hunting ground.
Yeah.
It might be coincidental that you're at a higher weight, but I've gotten those too. I shut them down pretty quickly because I'm like, why are you even talking to me? Like, have you not read my profile?
Oh, I've said that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very clear. They figure if you're on a fat website, you must be a loser. And therefore, you're ripe for picking.
I mean, I'm curious.
Like, I don't think it matters. I don't think they go as far as weight. I don't think they even...
It's a strange thing because, like, I've been hearing about these kinds of scams from chubs, only from chubs. Mm-hmm. Granted, I probably talk to more chubs and chasers, but I still talk to chasers. I still talk to chasers too, though. I'm not one of those ones that's like siloed away. Like, and it is ubiquitous. It's a ubiquitous experience that I had never had. And I'm curious if there are chasers listening, like where they fall on that spectrum of having experienced this.
Oh, I know of some.
Yeah.
I know of some.
I imagine part of it is just a numbers game.
Yeah.
Like when the majority of people on a site identify as A seeking B, right? Then they're going to pretend to be B seeking A.
And what's great about, I mean, for the scammers, what's great is you can put up an amazing thirst trap picture. You see who clicks on it, and then that's who you target.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so if you're putting up a picture of like a lean, well-muscled guy and some chub clicks on it, well, then you're going to go after that chub. I tend not to go after those pictures, but sometimes I do just because I like to, talk to chasers.
So Don, I'm curious because my first experience with this in kind of like fat world was on Bigger City, and it was a gentleman who appeared to be in the military.
Oh, this one.
Oh yeah. Same.
They're always in the military.
I was immediately sus. Like, I'm like, this is odd. And this long message, just like very long message. And I'm like, okay, like I'm curious. So I responded, and then I got like another thing back from him, just a very long text. And then the third message I got from him, I realized I'm like, he's not acknowledging anything I've said in my messages.
Yep.
No.
Not a damn word. Nothing you say actually makes it into any response he sends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
you're dealing with a bot.
There's a big thing. There's a fascinating, very gripping documentary on, I think it's Peacock, called Hey Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Anatomy of a Romance Scam. And I saw the trailer, and there was one woman in it that I'm like, I immediately hooked. I have to watch this. And they kind of really break down how these scams work And then these 3 women were scammed by the same pictures. Like, it wasn't the same guy messaging them, but they were using the same pictures.
Yeah.
And they found the guy whose pictures were being used.
Oh, that's fascinating.
He had no idea that he was scamming these women because he's an actor and has a lot pictures.
But my friend recently, who is a chaser, was scammed by someone using the pictures of a well-known super chub. He was suspicious because he's like, I feel like I've seen these pictures before. So he messaged me, and then I messaged someone who knew the super chub. So we were able to be like, okay, this is
You triangulate.
the guy wanted to meet him that day, and like he's like, come to my apartment. So like I was curious, like, what's the plan here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to distinguish. There's a lot of categories of this.
Yeah.
Usually the gainer who poses as a fatter gainer simply for the purposes of getting off. Like, I just want to talk to someone and have this role play without the role play part consent of the other person. So it's like there's no money changing hands. It's just to entrap you into a conversation that's going to get them off. And this is how they play it.
Right. That's more of the catfishing side of things.
Then there's another, once they meet me, they'll forget about all the fake pictures I sent.
Yeah.
And then there's the third option, which involves, I want money from you.
Right. That would be the full blown scam.
Usually in the form of McDonald's gift cards.
Yeah.
Or Best Buy or GameStop or whatever.
Roblox.
So my experience with it was the same as Trevor's. Mine was a bot, but I didn't know bots existed on dating sites when this first happened to me. This was many years ago. That claimed to be a staff sergeant deployed in Afghanistan, although he was originally from near me. And so after like a day or two of these, and they use the texting model they use is sort of similar to gambling theory, I think, where it's like they'll just shoot you kind of like a rewarding text every once in a while that's sort of like, God, very romantic and touchy-feely and thinking about you, and then nothing for like, a day or two. So I never got to the point where they started hitting me up for money, but I'm just like, this is dumb. This person is not acknowledging any of the things I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. I went online and found out that the military deployed catfish scam has been existing on straight websites for decades.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hitting up women, where eventually they started hitting them up for money for, battle armor, I think was what I was reading at that time.
What?
Because we weren't giving armor to our troops for some reason in some places. So like, and stuff like that.
Wow.
The other common one, so it's military and then also like offshore oil rig people.
Oh, fascinating.
Some unmeetable situation.
And some where it's like, oh, sorry, I haven't responded in a couple days. We didn't have service.
You were out at sea.
I work on a crab fishing boat for 6 months out of the year. And
So those have faded away. There was another one that was when they started sending you photos of themselves, it turned out to be a prince in Abu Dhabi who's a real life prince who has a footprint in the real world and is married with multiple kids. The one that I still see myself, I am seeing it right now, usually a Chinese visitor here in the States, super handsome, who is a insert respectable job here.
Yeah.
And an online investor.
Oh,
and they always want you to know
investor.
that within the first 3 texts. I haven't figured out where that goes.
Well, because can you invest my money, Don?
Right.
yeah.
Here's the surest sign. The surest sign is the invitation to bring your conversation over to WhatsApp in seconds.
I think even just like, oh, I need to borrow money, but I'll pay you back and I'll like pay you back this much more.
Yeah.
No.
If it sounds too good to be true, it is.
Yeah. Here was another thing. If the guy is a military staff sergeant on assignment in Afghanistan, he's probably not going to be sending you text messages calling you sweetheart and dear heart and darling. 4 or 5 text messages in.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrong American English stuff, like when they call you dearie or sweetie.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that I learned doing some research on this. All of these bad spellings and stuff, it's intentional.
Yes.
They very much want to basically weed out smarter people as quickly as possible. So all of these scams try to present something kind of preposterous or some highly recognizable red flags up front. So trust your gut. The reason why they do that is because they don't want a smart person coming after them or wasting their time trying to convince a smart person.
I think for our community, the biggest, most prominent kind of scam right now, it's very active on Grindr. It is kind of the sugar daddy, older sugar daddy kind of, or people wanting to do like financial domination, pay pig, cash pig thing. But basically, don't do that. Don't do it. Or like, don't use Grindr for that. I think right now it is just too risky.
But being financially ruined is such a turn on.
Just the generous. The username is like, look in my profile. And then the profile says generous. And I'm looking for a sugar baby. Have you read my profile?
Mm-hmm.
Just don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm curious if that has ever genuinely led to an actual sugar daddy, sugar baby like relationship.
There's all these blue-balled sugar daddies out there.
They're just desperate.
I have started doing a method that I think partially works. Inevitably, the scam bot will ask you, what do you do? I have started responding with absurd responses.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I am a competitive Frisbee murderer. Right?
Okay. So truly nonsensical.
Right. Completely nonsensical. A bot always responds almost immediately like, wow, that sounds like something really good for you. Or like, wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
or
fascinating.
something non-committal, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, a real person goes, sorry, what?
Yeah.
Right?
I did that.
I have weeded out multiple people that way. However, it is not 100%.
Really?
Because, yes, some of these scammers, they are groups, not individuals. Right? So the first person you talk to may actually be a real person. And the first person I talked to in this one particular one made a what? Response. I thought they were human, and then they invited me to join a WhatsApp. So
well, and to be clear, it's not always a bot. Like there are lots of humans doing this. It's just that they're following a script. Like they're maybe allowed to deviate a little bit, but the efficiency of their work is based on following the script. So it's like you're not really trying to. And I think to your point about like weeding out the smart people, if they get an answer like that, they may just decide not to follow up. They may get that you get it.
Yeah.
The documentary, Hey Beautiful, the romance game documentary, goes into how this works and how these guys buy scripts. They get a package of pictures. They get stuff to do, like to fake video calls.
Yeah, there is like a scammer starter kit that they can buy.
The scammers scamming the scammers.
Yes.
It's the pyramid scheme.
It should be said that Bigger City is very much on top of this.
Yeah.
They have messages that say, do not just immediately switch to WhatsApp. There is a button. There's a thing you can click if you suspect you're being scammed. So, I mean, they do have the technology. They do know this is going on.
Yeah.
They do have resources to report and deal with this.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I feel safer on Bigger City than I do, say, on like Growler.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just
Growler's bad about it.
I think it's probably a lot worse but Growler's also a much better known app generally.
So I have a scammer that, I mean, not really a scammer. It was someone who's using other pictures, and it was just very clear they were, but like we were having a nice conversation, and like I have talked to him for a while on and off. And actually, when we were talking about doing this episode, like I reached back out because I hadn't heard from him in a while. And there was a point where it's like, I know these aren't your pictures. Like I'm enjoying chatting with you. Like I would like to know what you actually look like. Like we're just,
can we drop the pretense?
That's the catfishing thing. It's, you'll like me based on my personality, then you'll be able to get over the pictures.
I've done that too, where like, I know this isn't you. I so know this isn't you. In fact, I know the guy you're pretending to be. Like, in fact, in one case, I took that picture.
That's incredible.
Please, really, I took that picture. And they're like, no, I swear to God, why do you not believe me? Like, oh, come on, stop it.
Go.
And usually what'll end up happening is if I pursue it, they will just leave. Like they can't deal with it.
Yeah.
I think once the guy wanted to talk about it, but a lot of times it's from such a place of shame that's why they're impersonating someone. They're not trying to get you money. They're just trying to get interaction, and they're trying to create a persona because they can't own their shit.
In line with that, like the more attention they get not using their own picture, the more it confirms to them that they would never get attention using their own picture. Like it's just confirmation bias. I'm curious though, Trevor, you said you could tell that it wasn't his pictures. How? Like, what are I don't know that I have that like sixth sense to know.
I mean, I think I may have reverse image searched it and found.
But like, why did you do that though? Like, what cued you to like, what was your instinct that said maybe this isn't right?
I'm going to guess it was too good to be true.
Too good to be true. And also they were located somewhere weird.
Okay.
Where like the pictures didn't match where they were geographically.
Like they say they're from Saskatchewan, but they're all beach pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that might set up some red flags.
For me, it was always the dialogue. I'm honestly more and more scared as AI gets smarter and smarter that I won't be able to spot the bots anymore.
Well, now that there is effectively true AI, like an AI will run it better
Than a scammer.
in quotes, better than a scammer. Yeah, like if the goal is to be convincingly human and not to have those weird misspellings and other stuff like that. Although you could train an AI to do that too. So yeah, that's the wild thought, really. And also video calls, you can fully fake a convincing human person that is just fully made up.
There was an issue with certain text jobs being taken by North Korean nationals that could do them online. And they were wearing face mask filters during job interviews and stuff in order to create more income for North Korea.
The documentary that Trevor was talking about talks about that.
Here's why this matters, though. Right now, it is no secret how much I love my late night documentaries on YouTube. Those are getting harder and harder to watch because of YouTube getting flooded by AI slop.
Yeah.
You can't just surf the web anymore because you keep kind of hitting your nose into these unreal things. Our real life dating transitioned to online, and Tinder and all these things took over our dating space. What happens when our dating spaces get flooded by AI scammer slop?
You get the movie Her.
I mean, the people dating AI is a whole other thing.
That's
Scarlett Johansson. That could be worse.
Well, I just think it's going to be harder and harder to meet people on the dating spaces that our younger generations have been prepped for as they get jammed up, right? Like, we need to figure this out or they're going to be driven back to bars.
Life finds a way. That's exactly what's going to happen. Once the online space is so unreliable that you basically can't use it, people will go right back to meeting in person. Like, it's just going to cycle.
Already happening. It's already happening. Gen Alpha talks all the time about like they want real human connection.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the takeaways from this should be like, don't be afraid to be like kind of pushy about like if you're suspicious about someone. And like, so what my friend, who was talking to someone who stole that Super Chub's pictures did, he's like, send me a selfie sticking your tongue out and touching your nose.
I was just going to say a friend of mine uses that same thing. I think they even have a different, send a picture of somebody doing something they would never ordinarily take a picture of, like sticking your finger up your nose.
Yeah.
Like something that's just like, it's not like, scandalous, but just like a little weird and embarrassing that you also wouldn't do if you weren't that invested in talking to the person making the request. Like, it's sort of like, yeah, I'll do that for you.
I think another test that I heard about was if you're video chatting, tell the person, stand up, turn around, and come back and sit down without a cut. Because there's no way that an AI can figure out what the back looks like.
Job interviewers are apparently doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating.
Also, if you have been scammed, it's embarrassing, but I think talking about it so that people know that like this is happening in our community, this is happening in our spaces, and this is what it looks like. In a lot of these cases, like either you have been hooked emotionally or you're horny and you're just like, I gotta get it. I got like,
so many chasers are dickmatized by obvious fakes.
Like no one should ever ask you for a $10,000 loan.
Oh my God.
No one should ask you for an Xbox Live gift card or Google Store. Like no one needs you to buy a gift card and send them the code for it.
Yeah.
No, it's like when somebody walks up to you while you're pumping your gas and immediately launches into a story about why they're there because of this and that, and they had bad luck, and then their parents are waiting for them in the car that's overheating and they need to get out of that. And it's like, just cut to the ask already, because I know you're just here to get my cash. Like, I know that's what this is.
If I give you $10, will you stop talking?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very much the like word vomit. Like if they stop talking to give you a chance to interrupt, then you've interrupted the flow, which is exactly what Don was doing by saying, I'm a freelance frisbee murderer, whatever it was.
I love it. It's a freelance competitive frisbee murderer.
Yes.
Yeah.
They keep score. They keep score, Michael.
Well, hopefully nobody listening has fallen victim to a scam, but if you have, and you think there's something valuable to share, write in and let us know about it.
And protect yourself from frisbee murderers.
Do we have a tip for the week?
No.
Don't get scammed.
Yeah, don't get scared. Seriously. So I have a very difficult problem where I need everyone to send me Xbox Live gift card.
That's true. He's been telling me about this. It's actually quite serious.
The only way I can get home is if I get 100 Xbox Live gift cards valued at $20 or above.
Okay, listener, if any part of you had even the tiniest gut reaction of, oh, I could help, that is your cue to keep check on that. You keep that, not that you can't help people, but just, online.
Just say no.
Yeah, keep that in check.
All right.
How about a bit?
Our bit today, since we were talking about scammers online, I thought maybe we would take a little bit of a spotlight and shine it on the lowly catfish.
Oh.
The actual catfish?
We're going to learn so much more about catfish today. We're going to learn about catfish's biology, their spiritual meaning, all sorts of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So the catfish can be some very strange looking fish. From squat and fat to long and lean, most all of them are pretty recognizable by their distinctive cat-like whiskers, growths coming out of their faces that they use to, quote-unquote, taste their way along the river floor. But to say they just use these whiskers to taste would be untrue. Why? 1. They are also a defense. Whiskers contain venomous barbs. 2. They are also ornamental. Males have larger whiskers than females. 3. They are a mystery. We actually don't know how catfish barbs work. Or 4. They're just one way they taste. They actually have taste buds all over their bodies.
Oh, I hope it's not that.
I don't know. That could be kind of erotic. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Why am I tasting the floor?
No, you're tasting your socks. Oh, I thought you were going to say they can reach out and so they can climb tall buildings.
I think it's defense sounds plausible to me. I'll go with 1.
I'm going to say ornamental.
What I really want to say is so they can feel their way around the floor, is that's not a choice, is it?
No.
No, I'll go with defense.
We've got 2 for defense, 1 for ornamental. And in fact, the correct answer is they are just one way they taste. The catfish has taste buds all over their body.
Jeez.
No. That's why they're so delicious.
That's why they're so good at navigating through muddy water with no visibility.
Oh.
They're tasting their way.
They are bottom
But doesn't it
feeder
just like
fish,
everything?
that's true.
I taste mud. I taste mud. I taste mud.
No, I'm sure to the refined palate, mud has very different tastes.
Yeah, I was going to say that's so reductive, Shepard. Mud comes in many, many different flavor profiles.
Now, catfish is a popular food all around the world. Catfish and potato pie from Colombia, Nigerian catfish and pepper soup, Louisiana fried catfish. Most all regions and cultures that have had access to the fish have come up with a unique and culturally important food to take advantage of this staple source. Which of the following is the most traditional kosher Jewish method for preparing catfish? 1. Gefilte-ing. Mincing and preserving with salt and herbs in aspic. 2. Drying. Drying in the sun and open air. 3. Composting.
What?
The fish can be used for fertilizer. Or 4. Narishkeit. A dessert made with walnuts, honey, and pastry sprinkled with desiccated catfish topping that is supposed to numb the tongue.
Oh dear.
This is maybe a little mind blower for me. I thought gefilte fish was the type of fish.
No, baby.
I'm going to go with that one then, I guess, because I just assumed it was, it's gefilte. It's the gefilte fish.
Yeah, I hate tuna, but I love gefilte. I'm going to go with the what you called composting. I think the fact that it's kosher, I'm not sure it's kosher to eat a bottom feeder as it would be impure or something. And so I'm going to say they use it as compost.
Okay.
Oh, that is a big thing in Jewish. I don't know that it applies to fish, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because usually it was things that you could get easily sick from. Anyway, I'm going to go with the most heinous of them all because it just sounds awful enough to be true. I'm going to say that it's like a sprinkled topping on a dessert.
You're going with a Narishkeit?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in fact, the correct answer is, Dan, composting.
Yes.
Okay.
Huh.
Catfish is a non-kosher food because it is a fish that doesn't have scales.
Oh, there you go.
That is why it is defined as non-kosher.
Take it up with your rabbi. Take it up with your rabbi.
Some rabbi write in and tell us what the hell that means. Why do scales matter?
In theory, it knocks a lot of mollusks off and shellfish, which don't store as well.
Are dolphins kosher? Like you eat a dolphin?
I believe they would not be kosher because they don't have scales.
Yeah, they only sing scales, Trevor.
All right. Animals have been associated with spirituality in many cultures. Spirit guides or spirit animals have been thought to be messengers from the other side or symbols that can impart meanings or warnings in the forms of omens. According to the incredibly academic website astrology.com,
Oh, gosh, yes.
what are some of the spiritual meanings associated with the catfish as a spirit? 1. Introspection and psychic potential. 2. Courage and fortitude. 3. Patience and planning. Or 4. Wisdom and knowledge.
I'm going to go with patience and planning.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
the only
lie
one
there at the bottom of the river.
I'm going to go with that too because I just kind of got this image of me in bed and I wake up and I just see a giant floating catfish just like hovering there. And I'm just kind of staring at it like gaping mouth.
Oh yeah, just like the Magikarp, like
Yeah.
All right, well, everyone's going all in for patience and planning. But in fact, there actually is some thought into this one. The answer is introspection and psychic potential.
Okay.
And this is because they saw these catfish drifting through the muddy waters and navigating somehow without being able to see their way around.
Because they're fucking getting off on the taste of it.
Psychic potential.
I thought you were going to say it's psychic potential because the catfish told him so.
Oh, that's far better. That's our new answer. That's our new best answer.
All right. Catfishing as an activity, meaning to pretend to be another person while flirting with someone else online,
Oh, yeah.
got its name from the 2010 documentary Catfishing, where the husband of the online deceiver explained the term with a story. What was the story about? 1. About how catfish juveniles in muddy water blend in with other schools of fish. 2. About how catfish were put in tanks with cod to fool them into staying calm during shipping and transport. 3. About how catfish can use its whiskers to impersonate crayfish to lure them out of their hiding spots. Or 4. About how catfish juveniles will pretend to be other fish in order to get close enough to their prey to eat them.
I'm going with the crawfish.
Crawfish whiskers.
Yeah, that's what I'm
All
saying.
right, Michael, you looked very thoughtful there when I was going over some of these.
I mean, these are very creative. I think blending in with other schools of fish because they're all in the mud. Yeah, that's my best guess.
Okay. And Trevor.
I watched the documentary and I'm trying to remember this. And I remember just like being kind of underwhelmed because I'm like, that's why it's this. I want to go with the last one just because I know it's not the last one, but I want it to be.
All right. All the answers are locked and loaded. And this time, Don dodged you all.
Oh.
The correct answer is about how catfish were put in tanks with cod to fool them into staying calm during shipping and transport. They were the Judas goats of the fish world.
I had no idea that cod were so excitable.
Apparently, yeah, when you're shipping or transporting them. They go crazy. So, Trevor, if any of our listeners have strange or unusual uses for catfish, where could they tell us about them?
We're on Instagram and Blue Sky as @BigFatGayPod. We're on Facebook as the Big Fat Gay Podcast. Leave us 5 stars there or 5 stars and a review on your preferred podcast platform. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/BigFatGayPod. See the articles we talked about or send us Xbox Live gift cards at www.bigfatgaypod.com, baby.
Baby.
Well, maybe you're a cod listening to this podcast, and you feel the gentle rocking of the tank you're in this truck, and you're like, wait, but I feel this isn't right. I'm not in the ocean. And then you look and you see a little catfish Michael, and he knew this all along because he's psychic, and he says, "What's up?"
I really want a catfish po' boy now.